Welcome to District Command Central, your go-to source for the latest news and updates on the Washington Commanders. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and ring the bell so you never miss a play. Washington Commanders fans, buckle up, because the drama surrounding Jayden Daniels is reaching a fever pitch. The young quarterback, who burst onto the scene as Rookie of the Year, has made it crystal clear if he's healthy, he wants back on the field. There's no hesitation, number hiding behind team strategy or long-term planning. In his mind, on a 3-8 team with little left to play for, Daniels' mentality is refreshingly raw, a pure competitor unwilling to sit out just to preserve the next season. The Commanders' official stance is cautious, labeling him week to week after his left elbow dislocation, which fortunately is his non-throwing arm, but insiders suggest that Monday night's clash with the Denver Broncos is all but a lost cause for him. And the real conversation has shifted to Week 14. December 7th against the Minnesota Vikings has emerged as a realistic window for his return, contingent entirely on medical clearance. This isn't just speculation. Sources inside the building reveal that the team has already weighed the big-picture implications, discussing whether Daniels should even attempt a comeback in a season that feels irretrievably lost. The debate is a balancing act: push a young star back into action to gain experience, or prioritize injury management and potential draft positioning. The calculus here is fascinating. Daniels' injury, while serious enough to sideline him temporarily, is not considered a long-term threat to his career because it's on his non-throwing elbow. The expectation is that once healed, his mechanics won't suffer and he can seamlessly resume running Washington's offense. That's music to a quarterback's ears, especially one as driven as Daniels, for a team mired in mediocrity this year. The temptation to roll him back out is obvious. He needs live reps, needs to build rhythm with his teammates, and the Commanders need a sense of life on the offensive side, something they've sorely lacked. Adding fuel to the fire is the impending return of wide receivers Terry McLaurin and Noah Brown, both expected to practice this week. Their presence could transform a patchwork receiving corps into a unit that actually threatens defenses, giving Daniels some semblance of stability upon his return. For a young quarterback, having reliable targets is critical, and the timing of this potential alignment couldn't be more dramatic. Washington's fans can dream of a late-season spark, the kind that reminds them of what this franchise once felt capable of, even if playoff hopes are slim. But the story isn't without tension. Not everyone in the Commanders' orbit believes rushing Daniels back is wise. Former quarterback Robert Griffin III has voiced strong opinions, urging caution and arguing that shutting Daniels down could protect a franchise cornerstone and possibly improve draft positioning if losses mount. This public input only amplifies the scrutiny around the team's decision-making. It's the classic struggle in professional sports. A young star wants to play, but the front office must weigh immediate gratification against long-term strategy. The optics are delicate. If Daniels returns too soon and suffers a setback, the criticism will be merciless. If he sits, the narrative could shift toward questioning his competitiveness or the coaching staff's faith in their quarterback. There's also the human element. Daniels isn't just a player, he's a competitor, a person who measures his worth on the field. And watching him sit idle while the team falters can't be easy. The pressure is intense, both on the player and the organization, and every move is being dissected by fans and analysts alike. This isn't just about an injury, it's about identity, pride, and the relentless push of a young athlete against circumstance. From a football perspective, the timing of Daniels' return is critical. The Week 14 matchup against the Vikings isn't just a placeholder on the schedule. It's a moment that could define the narrative of his rookie season and set a tone for 2026 if he steps back onto the field fully healthy and surrounded by competent receiving options. The Commanders could witness a rejuvenated offense, one that gives glimpses of the potential that made Daniels Rookie of the Year. Imagine a scenario where McLaurin and Brown are back, Daniels is mobile and confident, and the offensive line finally holds up. Suddenly, Washington could showcase flashes of brilliance even in a lost season. That's the tantalizing possibility that keeps fans glued to reports and speculation. It's why every practice snap, every statement from the coaching staff, and every whisper of medical clearance carries immense weight. The drama isn't manufactured, it's built into the situation. A young star's competitive fire colliding with the harsh realities of a struggling team makes for storytelling gold in sports media, and Washington is living it right now in real time. Yet the tension isn't merely on the field. Behind the scenes, the Commanders' decision-makers are navigating a minefield. They must reconcile a young quarterback's ambition with the team's long-term strategy. All while under the microscope of national media, it's a delicate dance of communication, expectation management, and risk assessment. Internally, the discussions are reportedly nuanced, considering whether a conservative approach, turning a 3-week injury into a 5 or 6-week rest period, makes sense. Even if Daniels protests, the optics of such a decision are layered. Sit him and risk criticism for being overly cautious, or play him and risk exacerbating an injury. The leadership challenge is enormous, and it underscores a critical truth in professional football. Managing talent isn't just about X and O's, it's about human psychology, perception, and timing. Every call made in this context carries ripple effects, not only for the current season, but for the credibility of the coaching staff and the trust of a franchise quarterback. In other words, the stakes extend far beyond a single December matchup. They are about legacy, culture, and how Washington positions itself in a league that rewards audacity and punishes mismanagement. Adding layers to this story is Daniels' personal philosophy, which has been bluntly articulated in interviews. He isn't here to play the waiting game. His mindset, that being medically cleared equals playing, is emblematic of a new breed of quarterbacks unafraid to assert control over their career trajectories. There's a raw honesty in that approach, a refusal to allow external factors to dictate his opportunities. For a team that has stumbled through the season, such attitude can be both inspiring and intimidating. Coaches must harness it without allowing it to backfire. While fans crave the drama of a young quarterback challenging the status quo, Daniels' approach also contrasts sharply with more conservative management styles, highlighting an ongoing tension in football between player agency and institutional caution. The narrative practically writes itself, a rookie phenom, sidelined by injury, refusing to be tamed, fighting against odds not just on the field but within the organizational structure that surrounds him. It's a story that captivates because it's human as much as it's athletic, blending vulnerability, ambition, and the high-stakes world of the NFL. Ultimately, the saga of Jayden Daniels in Washington is far from resolved. The Week 14 target looms as both hope and uncertainty, a potential turning point that could reshape perceptions of a faltering franchise and a young quarterback's resilience. As December approaches, every update will be dissected, every practice report parsed for clues, and every word from Daniels or the coaching staff will be magnified. The drama is a living entity, feeding on the interplay between injury, desire, team dynamics, and fan expectation. For Washington Commanders supporters, it's a roller coaster that epitomizes the unpredictability of football. Heartbreak, hope, and tension coexisting in a single storyline. Daniels' journey back from injury isn't just a recovery process, it's a narrative of determination, risk, and the relentless pursuit of competition. One that will define not only the remainder of his rookie season, but potentially the identity of Washington's offense for years to come. The stakes are enormous, the risks real, and the drama undeniable, a true microcosm of the NFL at its most riveting. This story, dripping with tension and human emotion, captures the essence of what makes football irresistible: the clash between raw ambition and calculated caution, between youthful fire and the cold arithmetic of strategy, between a lost season and the potential for redemption. Jayden Daniels embodies that clash, standing at the center of a narrative that is as compelling off the field as it is on. His push to return from injury, set against the backdrop of a struggling team, a fractured receiving corps, and a fan base desperate for hope, makes every development pulse with significance. As the Commanders navigate this labyrinth of decision-making, the world watches, wondering whether one young quarterback's willpower can alter the course of a season gone sideways, proving that sometimes, in sports as in life, the fiercest battles are not just about victory, but about resilience, identity, and the refusal to back down. If you're enjoying the coverage, make sure to smash that like button and drop a comment with your thoughts on the Commanders' latest moves. We want to hear from you. The NFL world is buzzing, and it seems Washington just shook the league with one of those whirlwind moves that leaves fans and analysts alike scrambling to catch up. Rumor has it, Chase Young is back in the nation's capital, and sources suggest it's not just a casual signing or a minor roster tweak. It's being whispered as a full-blown, lightning-fast trade that has set the rumor mills spinning. Washington, after all the speculation, apparently decided to make a bold statement, and bringing Young back into the fold feels like a calculated almost cinematic move in the ongoing chess game of the NFL. Nobody saw this coming. And yet here we are, talking about the return of one of the league's most electric pass rushers. The player who made fans jump out of their seats the first time he terrorized offensive lines in D.C. The whispers started late last night, just after analysts had settled into their regular post-game breakdowns, when the first hints of chatter began to trickle through insider channels. A few well-connected voices suggested that Washington was exploring a rapid turnaround trade, the kind that moves quietly at first and then explodes into mainstream news like a lightning strike. Chase Young's name came up almost immediately, and by early morning, the murmurs had evolved into something approaching certainty. Young was headed back to the city where he first made his mark, where fans remember him not just as a defensive powerhouse, but as a cultural phenomenon in the NFL. Social media, as you can imagine, went absolutely wild, with threads and TikTok videos dissecting every possible implication. From salary cap gymnastics to defensive schematics, the intrigue isn't just about the player himself. The rumor mill has been spinning nonstop about what this means for Washington's locker room and overall strategy. Bringing back a player of Young's caliber isn't just a simple transaction. It's a statement of intent. A declaration that Washington is serious about reshaping its defensive identity and, according to sources, shaking the very foundation of the NFC East. Analysts are pointing out that this move could reverberate far beyond just one roster spot. Some are even speculating about ripple effects across the league, wondering if other teams might suddenly reconsider their own defensive alignments or draft strategies now that Young is apparently back where he started. For fans, it's like watching a high-stakes drama unfold in real time, with every tweet and post fueling the suspense. Sources close to the matter are hinting at the whirlwind nature of the trade, the kind of rapid-fire negotiations that often happen behind closed doors, away from the prying eyes of the public. People are talking about late-night phone calls, last-minute deals, and agents working tirelessly to finalize a move that now seems almost inevitable. The idea that Young could just walk back into Washington, seamlessly reconnect with the coaching staff, and plug into a defensive line that already reveres him is exactly the kind of storyline the NFL thrives on. And as insiders note, it's not just a return, it's a reclamation. Young isn't coming back as a rookie or an uncertain talent. He's returning as a proven force, a player whose impact on the field can shift games, influence draft strategies, and perhaps even redefine the expectations for Washington's defense going forward. Fans are, predictably, losing it. Social media feeds are flooded with speculation, memes, and reaction videos, all capturing the sheer shock and excitement of the moment. Some are dissecting tape from previous seasons, pointing out key plays that showcase Young's versatility and dominance, as if trying to remind the league what Washington has brought back into the fold. Others are speculating on how the chemistry will evolve. Will Young reconnect instantly with old teammates, or will this return spark a new chapter in team dynamics? Analysts are divided, and that's part of the fun. The uncertainty, the what-if factor, is what drives the conversation and keeps everyone glued to their screens. There's a tangible sense that this isn't just a roster move, it's a story, an evolving narrative that the league and the fans can't get enough of. What's particularly fascinating about this rumor is how it fits into Washington's broader strategy, which insiders suggest has been carefully orchestrated behind the scenes. The team has reportedly been evaluating defensive schemes, looking at how Young's unique skill set could be maximized, and even projecting how his presence might impact upcoming matchups. The chatter implies that this isn't a one-off reaction to a single player or a desperate roster gap. It's part of a bigger vision, a carefully plotted return that could send ripples through the NFC East. Pundits are weighing in, imagining how quarterbacks might approach games differently, how offensive coordinators will now have to account for Young's re-entry, and how a single player can change the narrative of an entire division. It's the kind of speculation that keeps the rumor mill alive, turning mere whispers into a full-blown frenzy. Even the internal team dynamics are fueling the discussion. Rumors suggest that locker room morale could spike with Young's return, bringing a sense of familiarity and leadership to a defense that has seen its share of upheaval. Conversations on podcasts and sports radio channels are hinting at a renewed intensity in practice sessions, with veterans and rookies alike suddenly facing the prospect of competing alongside or against a player whose reputation precedes him. Coaches are said to be excited, players motivated, and fans electrified by the potential that this trade represents. It's more than just a tactical move, it's a psychological shift, a narrative of reclamation, ambition, and the thrill of reinvention, all wrapped into one seismic moment for Washington football. Of course, not everyone is fully convinced, because rumors, by nature, are a slippery thing. Skeptics are questioning the logistics, wondering how such a rapid turnaround was orchestrated without leaks, and whether Young's return could affect contract negotiations, cap space, or even future draft choices. The speculation feeds itself, generating more chatter and keeping everyone guessing. And yet, the underlying excitement is undeniable. The idea that a player like Chase Young, whose name alone carries weight across the league, could return in a flash, reigniting conversations about Washington's identity and aspiration, is exactly the kind of story the NFL thrives on. One part strategy, one part drama, and one part sheer unpredictability. It's the kind of rumor that becomes legend if it pans out. A narrative that fans will revisit in highlight reels and retrospectives for years to come. As the story develops, insiders are emphasizing the human element, the personal connection between Young and the city. The fans who remember his early dominance, the coaches who first mentored him, and the teammates who witnessed his rise. There's a sense that this isn't just about stats, tackles, or sacks. It's about legacy, redemption, and the thrill of coming home. And in the rumor-filled corridors of sports media, that narrative is everything. It's why people stay glued to updates, dissect each tweet, and speculate endlessly on what this means for the team, the league, and even for Young himself. The return, as the whispers suggest, isn't just a signing, it's a full-blown story in motion. One that could shape the perception of Washington football for the foreseeable future, all while keeping fans and analysts alike hanging on every cryptic detail that leaks out from behind the scenes. So as the NFL rumor mill churns, one thing is clear: the talk of Chase Young returning to Washington isn't just a headline, it's a spectacle. It's a whirlwind of speculation, excitement, and intrigue that has the football world abuzz. And while official confirmations might still be trickling in, the narrative has already taken hold. Fans, commentators, and insiders alike are locked into the unfolding drama, imagining defensive alignment, potential playoff scenarios, and the electric atmosphere that Young's presence could inject back into the nation's capital. It's a story that combines the unpredictability of sport with the magnetic appeal of a larger-than-life personality, and for anyone following the league, the buzz isn't fading anytime soon. The rumor has legs, the excitement is real, and one way or another, Chase Young's return to Washington is dominating the conversation in a way that feels unstoppable. Like a storm that no analyst, fan, or rival team can ignore. Thanks for tuning into District Command Central. Make sure to subscribe and follow us for all the Commanders news you need. Until next time, keep the faith and hail to the Commanders.